Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome back. It's good to see you. That first 1,000 subscribers came in fast and furious. You guys surprised me a little bit. So I'll be honest with you. I'm a little nervous now. I didn't expect that to go so fast, but that's okay. We'll get through this. We will get through this together, my friends, because, well, that's what we're doing for the next 4 years. So we might as well, we can get through a little stage fright from 1,000 subscribers, right? I've done this before, just not in the political field. So there's going to be quite the adventure over here now, isn't it? But hey, we'll get through it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's going to be a wild 4 years. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can say. But we'll be here together, and we'll get through it together. One of my favorite comments from the last video was somebody said, "I think I just found my emotional support redneck." Shout out to whomever that was that said that. That was very funny. I laughed at that quite a bit, actually. Yeah, hey, we're all in this together, baby. So we'll do it. We'll be fine. And if we're not, hey, guess what? There's a really cool thing I learned about life in all my years. We all die at the end. So if we're not fine, then I guess that's just how it goes, huh? That's just how it goes. Anyways, thing I want to talk about today is people that are, I don't know how, now words escape my head, that are disowning their family, no longer talking to their family, cutting off ties with their family and friends because their family or friends voted for Donald Trump. Now, I did do a video on this when I was just starting the channel, which was only like 2 weeks ago, but when I was just starting it, about women divorcing their husbands because they voted for Donald Trump. And I don't know how widespread this is, but there are some cases out there of this going on. And then you've got Trump voters that are confused. Imagine that. We're all shocked by that statement, aren't we? But they're confused, going, "I don't understand. Why is she divorcing me over politics?" And it's like, you just voted against your wife. This isn't that confusing, right? There's a whole thing that goes on in the world where people say women are so confusing, we just don't know what they want. Yes, they're so challenging, they're so weird. They're a lot like us in the sense that if you just listen to them, they'll tell you what they're thinking. Well, that's super complicated. I hope one day we'll figure out this mystery. Yeah, I just hope we'll get through it. I don't know. But anyways, when you hear someone say, I am actively working to take away your wife's rights, and then you vote for that person, and you're a married person, and your wife goes, "I didn't really fucking like that," then you shouldn't be surprised that that happened. And I want to talk about that real quick. There's a weird thing going on. There's a weird thing going on, my friends. You know, under the last Donald Trump presidency, Roe versus Wade was overturned, right? And that's what a lot of women are upset about, and rightfully so. And a lot of men should be upset about that too, because your wife, your girlfriend, your daughter, your mother may need some sort of medical attention that they now can't get, and then they just die, I guess, because we overturned it. And I keep hearing this argument that people say, well, all he did was kick it back to the states. What's so wrong with that? Stop, listen to what you're saying for just a second. And I hope you realize that saying women only lost rights at the state level isn't quite the win that you think it is when you're making that argument. And this seems to be a recurring problem, doesn't it, my friends? Every time Republicans kick things back to the state level, something goes fucking wrong. George W. Bush knew exactly what he was doing with No Child Left Behind. Oh, the states will set their own standards for education. Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, and that explains why we're at where we are right now, as I talk about education and try to put a sentence together at the same time. Look, I'm a product of the system. What do you want from me? But No Child Left Behind, definitely done on purpose to keep Republican voters entering the the age of voting. Remember, I just said education ain't that good. I'm a product of that too, my friends. Don't worry. But I wanted to talk about this with the what the fuck am I talking about? People not talking to their families anymore, just completely disconnecting from their families because of a vote for Donald Trump. And a lot of people are confused by it. The same thing as people having their wives divorce them or saying it's just politics. I heard someone say it's not about politics, it's about morals. And yeah, yes, you voted for a terrible, awful person that hates everyone, and everyone includes the people in your family. The target of Donald Trump's anger, which is one of the most shocking things I've ever heard in my life. This spoiled brat that grew up rich, never had to do anything in his life, sure is having a hard time out there, isn't he? And we should all feel bad for him. He's having a rough life, poor Donald Trump. Us common folk will never understand the struggle of Donald Trump. He's the constant victim, isn't he? Everything's just turned against him. Oh, they were so mean and so nasty to me. Yes, they were. Anyways, yeah, it's about morals. He's a hateful prick. That's what he is. And people are obviously confused by that. Now, I didn't want to come into this video without really stopping to think about it. And don't worry, there will be plenty of times where I hear something and I come into a video half-cocked, not really knowing what I'm talking about, and it's just a knee-jerk emotional response. We've got a long 4 years ahead of us. I already said that, right? And we're going to have just a complete outburst and meltdown sometimes on this channel because, well, what's the fun in acting like a completely sane person all the time? That gets boring after a while, doesn't it? But this one I wanted to think about for a while. Do you want to cut off your family because they made a vote for Donald Trump? And to cut to the chase, to get to the point, yeah, I think you should, as a matter of fact. Thinking about it over the last few days, I honestly think it's a good choice. Look, would you trust them, like, to ride in a car with them, having them drive a car, you in the passenger seat? They make poor decisions, so how could you even trust that? It doesn't make sense to me. If you're at home, let's say you're at your house and you're like, oh, damn, I need to run to the store real quick for something, and you've got kids at home, and you're like, it's going to take me 10 minutes tops. Just run to the store, grab what I need, 10 minutes tops. And one of your family members is there, and they happen to be wearing a MAGA hat. Would you trust them? Would you leave your children there? They make poor decisions. And so do children, and that sounds like a recipe for disaster if you do that. So when you think about all that, I think that it's probably a good decision to cut out people like that. They make poor decisions just based on anger, hatred towards other people they don't understand, things like that. I think it's probably acceptable to go ahead and cut them off. Look, riding in the car with them, they have no problems whatsoever with driving an entire goddamn country off the cliff. What's the problem with driving a car straight head on into a semi-truck? I mean, what's the fucking difference, right? They did it, but I don't know why. I don't understand why Trump voters do anything they do. But anyways, they're hateful people. These votes were made out of hate. I want you to think about something with me for a second, if you will. You know, have you ever heard of Trump rallies? You should have. They're the biggest, most beautiful rallies. You wouldn't believe the crowd size at a Trump rally. Some people are saying the most people ever in the world, in the history even, show up at Trump rallies. They're a massive ordeal where everybody shows up, right? Now, there's all these people come together to cheer and to chant and all these things they do for one man. Well, he stands up on the stage and everything he says is hateful. Everything he says is hateful. Think about it. Does Donald Trump have a policy that just involves uplifting someone else? I can't think of one, and it's not because I'm a hater, because I am a hater, I really am. But it's not because I'm a hater, it's because every one of his policies has to do with the betterment of someone else through fucking over someone else. That's it. He's not standing up there going, and I want you to get education. I would like you to have education. I would like you to have health care. He's not doing anything like that. It's all hateful. Every bit of it. Every goddamn bit of it. And every policy he has is about fucking over whatever group he's angry at during that portion. That's all it is. It's just hate-filled policy, every bit of it. So you've got all these people out there cheering with Donald Trump and doing the chants and all that stuff, throwing their fist in the air, and they're just goddamn excited. Do you understand what's happening in that room right now? Every one of those people is standing there cheering, being told they will be fucked over. These people voted against their own overtime pay. Look it up. Blue collar people, what are we doing? I survived for years on overtime pay. Now, I'm a trucker now, and there's no such thing as overtime pay as an over-the-road trucker. So welcome to my world. It's fun. It's exciting. I'm glad you could join me by voting against yourself. That was fucking brilliant. But they voted against their own overtime pay, and I survived on that shit for years, and a lot of people have. But anyways, the point I'm making, they're all up there chanting and cheering, and they're doing all these things, and every one of them is voting against the guy next to them, standing right next to them, all cheering for the same person. And every one of them thinks that they will be the exception to whatever thing Donald Trump is doing. Could you imagine being that fucking delusional that you think you're listening to him say what he's going to do, and you think, yeah, he's going to do it to the other guy? And there's, according to Donald Trump, 35 million people at that rally, the most anybody's ever seen. And every 35 million of those people all think they're the one that he's not going to fuck over. They are actively cheering against the person standing right next to them while they cheer for the same exact thing. They are all cheering. Think about that. Does that strike you as odd? So while they are voting against the very people they are voting for the same candidate with, what are they doing to their families? What are they doing to their friends? They are actively voting against them too. This isn't about politics or policy or anything like that. It's definitely about a lack of respect for the people in your life. If you can look at a Donald Trump policy and say, this is, everything about this is good, then you're failing to see the part where he fucks someone over. It's really that simple. It's really that easy. So I can't, in good conscience, go cast a vote for Donald Trump and go home and look at my wife and say I did the right thing. I can't look at my daughters and say that I did the right thing. That doesn't make any fucking sense. No part of that makes any sense. And if I would have got served divorce papers, I would have deserved it. Absolutely. So when I really think about this, yes, they're your family. You probably love your family. I don't know how you feel about your family, but you probably love them. You're probably devastated that they have chosen this path. You can't figure out why they have. But they have made a completely unhinged vote. A vote made out of anger because life isn't going the right way for them. And look, life's not going the right way for most of us. It's tough out there. But you don't vote against the people you care about. You don't vote for policy that harms the people that you care about. So my point is, if you can't trust them to make a vote, to vote outside of themselves, I guess is the term I'm looking for. Like, if you can't trust them to not be that fucking selfish for just a little while, you have to start to question, what kind of morals does this person really have? What are they actually capable of if they care about you that little and they want to come over and they want to be in your home? It kind of sounds a little bit dangerous at that point. They don't care about you. They don't have feelings, positive feelings about you at all. They just voted against you. And to me, that makes them seem dangerous. And maybe I'm overreacting, I'm not really sure. But if I see a MAGA hat sitting in my living room, a person that just voted against our country, and our country ain't perfect, it's got its struggles, that's for damn sure, but like, trying to destroy it isn't the answer, isn't the fucking answer. It makes me question what they're capable of. What's really going on inside their head, and what will they do to get a leg up on me? What are they capable of just to have something working better for them than it is working for me? And it seems that I wouldn't be able to sit in the room with that person and feel safe and feel like they've got my best interest in mind. You know, if somebody kicked the front door in, it was an armed robbery, they throw me in front of the gunman to save themselves. That's what they just did. That's exactly what they just did. So to wrap it up, I don't have any problem with this. I think it's probably the right decision. Just cut them off, walk away, and say, look, I can't do this with you. I don't trust you. I don't understand what's going on in your head that you would make these decisions. And if you care for me that little, if you don't respect me, just say that. Let's just be honest with each other, and we go on from there. So yeah, that's it. I think it's honestly a good decision. I don't see an issue with it. I gotta get to work. They expect me to drive this fucking truck sometimes. Bye now.